Hi everyone, welcome to Embellishments on the 11th. I am your host, and each month a group of us get together at noon Eastern. You calculate whatever that is your time, and we share one or more embellishments of any kind, and I have a few. So I'm trying to repurpose scraps and also make things for projects that I'm in the middle of. You watched my video for 10 on the 10th, you'll know I had two long strips of very vanilla cardstock left, and I thought, I can fold them and make tags or whatever. So that's what I did. So my first two pieces, and also I have had book page. Um, I found all those book pages. So the thing is, and I tore them, I have these rulers. They look like this, and they came in a set of like 4 or 5 with different shapes, but I used this shape. And sometimes it tears okay, and sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, of course, when you put the book page on, part of it is upside down. This side on both, and I ended up cutting this down shorter for some reason. Anyway, um, this side is right side up, so I left it blank, but this side, of course, the words are upside down. So I put scraps of those papers that I had. So these will go likely in the December daily or whatever I'm going to call it at that time. And all I did was add some real red. I love this braided linen trim or braided trim, I guess it's called. And one of those bows that I had from the 10th. Now I see I put a little staple in, and then I put Fabri-Tac. I might pull that staple out because actually it should have been going this way. Let's just do that right now. I'll do it afterwards, sorry. And I might further embellish the back, but and actually here I had one little square that had a bear in it, so I just fussy cut it out and put it on the back of that one. And they can open, and you can, like a hidden journaling spot kind of thing. So, and this is a garden green ribbon, and I did just take Distress Oxide Vintage Photo over it a little bit because it was more of a white on it. So those are my first two quote unquote embellishments. And then I had this little tag sitting in my pile of stuff for ages now. It's from Newton's Nook Designs, and it had a bunch of words up here. Well, I took my little handy dandy knife thing because the words went all the way, down to here. And I cut just the tail so that I could put it on top a piece of paper that I put on top the words. And this is from that paper pack I'm using some of it from my Strawberry Bliss book. My favorite things. It's holiday plaid, but it's all pinks, light green, medium green, that kind of thing. I love it. It's very pretty, and it's a heavyweight cardstock. So I left the kitty on there. This is some of that Doodlebug Designs twine I've showed in other videos. And here I stamped You're the Cat's Meow, and that, I don't know if I still have that stamp set here. I should. No. Yes, here it is. It is a retired Stampin' Up! 9 Live set. I have a punch that goes with this, and maybe for next month I'll get some kitties done, and I have a dog one too that has a dog punch, and I might make some embellishments with those for next month. We'll see. Next month's June, huh? I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, I did that. This was a 1.5 inch circle punch, but I lopped off the side because right under here is where it says Newton's Nook Designs. I stamped that in garden green, which is pretty close to this color, and went around the edges of it with Parakeet Hardy, which is pretty close to this color, and this is more of that paper. And this is what the tag already had on it with the cute little kitty. So that's just a tag I'll use for something somewhere. Don't know. It could even go on a card Since it says you're the cat's meow, it could go on a card and be an embellishment for the front of a card. In fact, that's probably what I'll do for it. And then next, I had been gifted all of these kitty cat papers. I think it was Martha, because Martha shares, I think. If it wasn't Martha, if it was somebody else, let me know. Lizzie Jean's Chaotic Art or something like that. Chaos, or I don't know. Anyway, her channel, I'll link it down below too, and Martha's. One of those two, I believe, is who gave me all these beautiful kitty papers. And I think I used one maybe before, but I hadn't used many of them. So I decided I glued it onto a piece of cardstock and I die cut it with, I die cut it with scallop contour dies from Stampin' Up. I think they're retired now too. I don't know. But I love that scallop rectangle. And that's going to be used real soon, so stay tuned for that. I might end up having to lop off some of it, but we'll see. And now this one is closer to my kitty. This is closer to my last kitty, Kimmy Cat. Princess Kimmy Fluffy Cat actually was her full name. Named by my son after the Pink Power Ranger. Shh, he'll never admit that now, but that was the case. She was a purebred Persian, and there weren't any in here that were tuxedo cats, but this one has a little bit of gray where Callie had white. She had white all under her chin and her belly and her paws, but the rest of her was solid black. And yeah, I miss her. I'm mm. Yeah, we won't go there. And then lastly, kind of to go with that kitty, uh, I made a toile little bow of sorts. Basically just took a strip of toile and I rolled it up and I found some skinny ribbon, tied a double knot, and just to add a little silver sparkly. And that will be used with the kitty cat. And then I thought, well, as I was looking, I don't have a whole lot of toile, but I had bought a roll from another store that no longer exists, which was Christmas Tree Shops. And that came as a shocker to me because they were open like one month and next month I went there to get something else with a friend and they were empty and locked up. And I was like, whoa, what happened? Yeah, $1 for whenever I bought it. I don't even know. Probably 2017 or 18 or 19 maybe. I don't know. Anyway, there's not a whole lot left on there, but you know, for $1, there was plenty on it when I got it. So I don't really have too much toile, but and then so I had this meshy stuff too, and it was just a piece from somewhere. Don't know. I did the same thing, but it doesn't because it's like a thicker mesh, it doesn't quite have that shimmery like the toile does, like a ballerina. But anyway, and I didn't have a ribbon to match, so I just put a sort of a vintagey looking ribbon. I don't know where that one's going to go yet or if it'll go anywhere. And part of my problem in making embellishments now is because I end up with something like this and I really don't know. I have to use them. In fact, I just pulled two out of here that I think I'm going to use real soon. Hang on, let me see if I can find them again. Yes. Um, so I'm kind of in this. I have an overabundance of embellishments now. And then also in my holiday bins, for example, I have these, which I showed on my, I just said it a minute ago, the one where I was doing the Christmas journal. Oh boy. Anyway, so I have those, but there's autumn ones, there's winter ones, there's hearts, there's, you know, a peacock, there's other little birds and stuff in here, but I pulled these out because I'm going to use them, I think. I'm not exactly sure. And then I have some altered puzzle pieces. One of them is not even finished. You know, and just some other miscellaneous like twinchies and other embellishments I've made. Some for this collab and some were for like, I think there was a collab called Twinty Tuesday or something. So I'm a little overstocked on embellishments right now. Plus I have ephemera packs that go with paper packs, you know. So I've slowed down in how many embellishments I'm making unless I am going to send them to someone else or something. So anyway, let me know, are you all stocked up on embellishments too? Do you get to a point where, okay, it's time to use them? And there for a while I was doing a video called Let's Use Our Embellishments or something like that, using our embellishments, and I need to get back to that again. So that's all I have for this month's embellishments on the 11th. Please go down below the video and look at the other channels that are participating. If the link doesn't work, which it probably won't, just use the @ thing and copy it and put it in your search bar, and that should bring their channel up. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Waggy tail, bye.